I'm Candice.
It's Brandon Ramsey.
My name is Mandy.
Member
I'm
of
of
this
this
great
great
space.
space. Because you know, when they have one of the good conversations, they say, we should start a podcast.
If that did not happen, this would not have happened.
So I think that's the most interesting part. Persons coming back to me and I say, bro, when you said this, and I was like, what are they? What exactly did I say?
It's been a by faith walk. Definitely a by faith walk.
We're raw, unfiltered, honest.
I don't really like this race space on the way how they talk. I want to, I'm gonna be like, brother, shut up, man.
We have to not only pray for grace, but we have to be ready and willing to extend grace.
Yo, welcome back to Purpose Audacity. I, of course, am Charlotte Marie Beadle. You're not necessarily seeing me today because guess what? We have some special guests here. So I'm going to go ahead and ask well, I mean, we don't one member, but he's here in spirit. I'm going to ask this great space to introduce themselves individually and then we're going to get us moving, right?
All right, sure. So, hey guys, I'm Candice, a member of this great space.
Camera looking at him.
This one.
Oh, this one.
That one.
Yeah, morning, afternoon, good night. My name is Brandon Ramsey, member of this great space.
Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Mandy. Also, I'm a member of this great space. And
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here.
No problem.
Welcome.
Already, guys, we were helping like a full-on extra
Acting it up.
before we started. I must say, like, I love y'all's spirits. I love, your vibe, and it's just so interesting how in sync you all are. Even outside of the show.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely, something that astounded me a while ago. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
So we would have just released an article about you guys, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But for those who did not actually read the article, tell us about this weird space, like, how did it come about, like,
Wow.
the meaning of this weird space, like, all of that.
Okay.
It is such a funny story whenever we tell persons how this great space came about, because it really was thanks to the Jamaica East District NYI Nazarene Youth International Youth Camp of 2023. If that did not happen, this would not have happened. Really and truly. Right? At the breakfast table.
yeah,
At the breakfast table on about dates 3 or 4 of the camp.
I remember which day it was.
We had a conversation. Well, Kevon brought up the idea of having a podcast. And he was so enthusiastic about it. He was so ready and raring to do it. And we're just like, okay, yeah, I like the idea. And it was really... Initially, it started as Brandon and Kevin. And we, Mandy and I, were there as co-producers and tech support.
yeah.
And so that conversation left camp. And then it was what?
Less than a week.
It was than a week. Yes, it was a fire shut up in his bones, and he started right away.
Yeah.
Started right away.
You said he was at work.
Yeah, I was at work at the time.
The man said, hey,
We need a name, we need a...
name for the podcast.
Yeah.
This was all just based off of the large conversation, that loaded conversation we were having at the breakfast table. Like,
Yeah.
and he just goes, when they have one of the good conversations, they say, we should start a podcast. Everyone deserves to hear what we were talking. So,
Yeah, because even at camp, persons were drawn to our conversations that we're having clean,
It's so true.
clean and holy conversations. So so we decided to start Kevin coming at work, and we got the accounts ready. And then I think that same week, this Sunday, Sunday we decided to film the road range.
First episode.
Road rage?
Yeah.
Road rage episode, decided to film, how to like mixing road rage and Armor and stuff.
What?
Then we saw that it was getting traction. So, I mean, it was the first video. Normally the first video normally blows up. YouTube just decided to throw it out there. So, it's been a journey.
It's been a by faith walk. Definitely a by faith walk.
I think you asked about the name, or like what. Yeah, so this Gray Space. Well, we used our name generator. It gave us some names. It gave us some names, and I think everyone was saying we should. His friend was saying that it was supposed to be the Gray Space, but then she was saying I think you need to make it
more definitive. Yeah.
So we said this Gray Space, and I think Emmanuel was saying like it should be like a space for just honest conversation.
Yeah, nothing like a safe, honest space where we as young Christians can talk about our walk,
That's what we
experiences, and show people that other Christians that they are not alone in this sort of way. And to show non-believers that we are not as crazy.
We live in a Christian life. It's a real thing. It's an actual thing outside of that 45-minute sermon that you might get. So sometimes, unfortunately, in some Christian spaces, certain topics are just not broached upon it because some persons are on the impression you don't want to lead people astray. But we see this great space as the bridge between what is taught and the life that you have to live when you're by yourself. Who fills the gap of the topics that aren't covered? Who touches on these things that might be a little bit more sensitive, that might tickle the ears of others? So that's what we really aim for and strive for whenever we come and sit in front of the camera to film. It really is to ensure that we are a space filled with grace. A space filled with grace. That's what we try our best to do.
So, I think essentially the motto is we talk about everyday activities with a Christian perspective.
Yeah.
So we try to we're not gonna come on here and say you need to trust God.
Yeah.
You need to believe. You need to pray.
That generic stuff.
It's you don't want to hear it. As much as it is good to say.
It is, but it's a band-aid that you want to put on a gaping wound.
Yes.
People need more than that. Because when you're desperate, when you're on your last leg, that's the last thing you really want to hear. Oh, just pray about it. God will provide. It's especially for our generation, and I think with the way that we view the world around us and how we interpret what is going on, we need more than just that. We need more than just that. We are out there asking questions. We're seeking answers for ourselves, and this age group is where you tend to decide if you want to stay in the church or if you want to leave. So just pray about it and God will provide. It's thin rope to hold on to during this time that we are going through. It really is. I've seen it before my own eyes.
A lot of persons get turned off. Like, my husband always says, fine. Even if there might be consequences in some churches, like based on something that might be done, for instance, right? Because some churches do that kind of thing, like bad information, whatever. But like, where is the space to build that person back up? Space for action and for a person to feel like they are safe to bend through it and cling to that. And so I completely agree, and I'm happy that you guys were obedient, and I'm happy you jumped on it. Because sometimes we receive nothing from God, and we spend time doing the police test something, and we're gonna think like, see you. And I mean, like, then time get waste. So I'm happy y'all jump on it, and I feel like the Lord is going to really open your eyes even more beyond you would have expected. And so with that said, so you guys mentioned, of course, your age group. What has the journey been like personally, or it's not answer them before you hear my personal answers. Personally, as a young Christian podcasters, especially here in Jamaica, I mean, Jamaica, we have radio show, TV shows, or whatever. Are we really a podcast nation yet?
That's a good question. It's a good question.
Well, I think I was explaining to them that it is equally fun and challenging. That's what I said to you guys. Challenging in terms of there is not many people you see in this market that's putting out the content that we are as young Christians, because I mean, one thing too is I think it helps that we're also friends. Right. So there's natural chemistry there. But for the challenges, it's partnering a space where, especially locally, many persons are much more gravitating towards things that are the secular. So trying to push your review with that is a bit challenging. But at the same time, your audience is there. It's just you have to know how to tap in, to talk to them and tell them you do that. Fun now we want is us. Yeah. Our friends from a toilet and it's actually of hanging out with.
Yeah.
We just sit. I mean, we do plan out what we're wearing. We do.
Yeah, I was just
go in front of that camera. It's just to prove us and the Lord in the moment.
I mean,
in our thing.
Great
so the
conversation.
fun really comes from the chemistry and the camaraderie that we already have with each of us.
Yeah.
And the challenge is just really navigating the space.
Staying on
space locally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Where we are, our nation is gravitating towards topics
And even so, when you, even just outside of the secular being competition, there is the international being competition as well that we have to not compare ourselves to, because for some persons that can be deterrent. As you said, other than just the fleece test, there is there's already so many other persons or such larger names. Why would I even try? But as we were speaking, as we always do, as we were speaking, we had at our church, the Boulevard Church of the Nazarene, we had a crusade the other day, and one of the speakers said that even if the church isn't full and the message goes out to just one person, that's enough. Yeah. So that is the perspective that I've taken from it. It doesn't matter to me as much as we would appreciate that the numbers grow and we see the numbers grow. As far as I'm concerned on a personal level, if it is just one person who needed to hear what we had to say, I'm content with that. Yeah. So yeah, that's something that we take on when we consider this journey. I don't even know if you can. The journey probably just started because, as we said, it went from a conversation to a week later of beginning. So we are just starting this journey. Yeah.
I think we asked Jamaica as a podcasting country, and that's a good question because. I know in the US they have a market for podcasting, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they started it, but they have the market for it. I think Jamaica, I don't know how many persons in Jamaica listen to podcasts that much. So it's interesting, but what I know in Jamaica is that Jamaica likes drama and they like to have a laugh, right? So our content isn't necessarily based off of the drama. And having a laugh, yes, but not necessarily based on the drama. So like you would have the J phrase and the toxic talk and those guys who will have the artists on and have these type of conversations to draw people's ears and eyes. That's why he gets the views and whatever. So we're not trying to pull on that. So we're not going to talk about a pastor down the road, because that don't make it. That's too much. Yeah, that's not productive. So I think in Jamaica, I don't know if Jamaica is a podcasting country, but I know Jamaica is a a funny country.
Yeah.
They like funny, they like to laugh, and they watch something that is funny enough or has a drama or has a name enough attached to it.
Yeah.
I think we're a vlog country because Jamaicans are naturally fast, lucky with business. So once you give them that opportunity to jump in and clear into your life, oh yeah, they're gonna be tuned in for sure.
So I'm happy that you brought that because I was gonna bring that up. But when I was looking at some of the statistics, I did realize that more Jamaicans are gradually tuning into podcasts and, funny enough, Christian podcasts, but from overseas. So I do see those numbers growing and thing. And I mean, leave it to time, but I'm happy with the point that you made, especially in terms of, if it's even just one person, because one thing the Lord had spoken to me about, even in relation to PAJE, because PAJE has had its own journey. If it's even one person look on one of the articles or whatever, just do the thing and he will take it where it needs to go, right? And so even a couple weeks ago, because it's been toiling with PAJE, all of a sudden somebody just randomly came on our website from Dominica and said, hey, by the way, keep doing what you're doing because I read your articles every morning. And I'm like, and so saying that to say, still just continue to walk in the faith and obedience and stuff. And whether or not Jamaica's a podcasting nation, vlogging nation, whatever, the Lord will do what he needs to do. So I appreciate that definitely. So for each of you, what has been the most impactful thing, for you, like on this specific journey? What has really, stood out to you in terms of saying, all right, cool, yo, we're really doing this thing.
I think when persons come back to me and they say, you remember on the podcast when you said this? I was like, I don't know. And I'm like, can you tell me like what I said? Because I do remember what I said. Yeah. So I think that's the most interesting part. Persons coming back to me and I say, remember when you said this? And I'm like, what exactly did I say? So yeah, I think that's it keeps you on your toes, man. Yeah.
I think even when we started this podcast and we were reading our plan, we'd say it was never like an objective or a core burst upon it. She was really just it's ministry.
Mm-hmm.
So even recognizing us in public really threw me for a because people are watching, but you don't expect them to be amongst you like that.
Yeah.
For the first time someone recognized me in public from the podcast, I was really thrown up on celebrity, don't you? But I think also one of the things, the impact, I guess I could call it that, is we're still learning each other in a different space. So we know each other at church and we hang out way too many times outside of church. But in this new community, this space that we have created, oh my God, put a count for many times, this space. This new space that we've created, we're still learning each other's personalities, characteristics, what we're like when we're under a lot of pressure, when time is against us, when we have conflicting schedules, when we disagree on a topic. So we are still, our friendship and our bond is growing and we're still figuring each other out. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that we can take away from the podcast, even though we are sending a message to other people. We are also learning ourselves and teaching ourselves as well.
I think from the point of impact for me, it's being taken seriously.
That's a scary part.
So I really kind of just stepped into adulthood. All of us really have just stepped into adulthood. So now for our word to be remembered in Brandon's case, and for the older persons to be coming back to us and say, oh, we liked how you guys are doing this and da-da-da, or for persons to now be volunteering, like, hey, if you guys need this and this and this, it's just like, wow. It's to be taken seriously, to finally have your voice being heard. coming from a child when you're usually not taken seriously to now being taken seriously, it's been quite the jump. It's been quite the jump for me personally. That's the biggest impact I've seen since we started this podcast.
And then more than likely in the future, when our reach gets even bigger, you might even hear our name being used as a reference for Christian content.
Oh my God.
I might have people saying that I don't really like this race space on the way how they talk and whatever. I'm gonna be like, brother, shut up, man. Leave me alone, you know? So, yeah, boy, yeah, kind of said,
What happened?
yeah, we had a comment.
Weeks out last December, and there was each night was dedicated to a special activity. Friday night was sermon at night. And there were 5 different young speakers who came to speak on a specific theme. And somebody quoted the podcast what we said.
Yeah.
Okay, now we may not have remembered to say that.
I don't remember.
It was a long time.
It's a
At
long
the same
time,
time,
yeah.
somebody quoting us, we're like, we're reached.
Like when she said in this gray space, my eyes just peeled open first. My eyes peeled open first. I was like, what is she going to say?
Listen.
Then we heard it, we're like, all right, we're good.
What she's going to say is very funny because we do we're raw, unfiltered, honest. And
Try to keep me fine.
we sometimes get really funny with how we speak, and so sometimes you never know what somebody's gonna approach you and say. Right. But for sure, it's all good stuff.
But even like some of the topics that we may have, I think someone said to me, I think this topic you might need a more educated person to speak about. I think I said to her, oh, I understand what you mean. I understand everything that you're saying, but at the same time, who's going to talk about it? So I think it's, even educated or not, it's a opening door for a conversation.
And I think even from that standpoint, if we may not know quite a lot about it, I think churches can take that as a sign as to where you need to fill the gap for knowledge. Because we would normally speak from our perspective, our experience, and what we would have heard. So if you see that we might be lacking in a topic, it's, of course, we'll take it on to go and inform ourselves more. But churches can kind of take it as a sign as to, this is where you need to fill the gap. And you have to believe it. Because if we took the initiative that we're gonna fill more conversations, you don't necessarily know where your youth are, especially if you're not as in tune with them. So I think it'd be a good point of reference for some churches, if they so desire to look at the Christian space, to see more than just entertainment, but take it as a microcosm of what is actually happening in your own congregation.
That was beautiful.
Can I wear that?
I feel like that just allowed me to like transition into us focusing on the theme, guys. The theme that you see below. But thank you, ma'am. You were so eloquent. Well, all of y'all are actually really eloquent. It's amazing. But before I even get into the theme of today, though, I wanted, like, as you spoke, especially, you know, I felt the Holy Spirit telling me that you guys are, as a group and as a unit, as you grow, don't take that lightly, that you guys are also in front of cameras and being so raw and so real, because I feel like you are also an example of what a healthy community is. Right? There are a lot of persons in the church who do not have a healthy community and who do not feel safe growing with people. And so I think, so even just the matter of grace, just being willing to be real with each other on camera, you don't know what you're doing to help other persons heal where that's concerned. So I just felt led to encourage you with that.
That reminds, remember the episode? I don't mean church. Wait, no, not the church one. The one with Jose and Goma. And like everyone was saying, would you take about Goma? And I said,
My goodness.
I said in the moment, I said like, no, I'm not taking about Goma. He's like, I would. I'm like, brother, you're lying to yourself. I just said it. I said it plain and straight, but when I already more, I understood the purpose behind Jose and Goma, you know. But like in the moment, I was like, brother, I'm not taking about. I think having those those type of reactions,
Yeah.
conversation, it brings a level of realism.
Yeah.
Realism is a word.
Yeah.
Word.
Honesty.
Yeah, honestly to the space.
The very funny, shocking reaction to that, as I remember, Joe likes to ask us a lot.
Yeah. He's a very against the grain. Against the grain.
He likes, you know how some people interpret things one way? He will see a story and find some other context from it. Because reading Hosea and Gomer, you're thinking, oh, this is a reflection of Homer representing people of Israel as Christians. Hosea being God, and still going after us, taking us back despite the many times we have cheated and been
Unfaithful. Yeah.
And the children represent the things that
even though he saw it in that light, he also derived from it. How should a husband
Trees his wife. It's like, bro, you talking about?
You arrive where you drive from to arrive there, so because we never see that. Even go around Spur Tree and come back down. So it forced us to really sit back and be like,
whoa, which brings a really awesome way in which we see how community is good when you're studying the word, because people offering different perspectives allows you to open your mind.
I think of other things. Because I would have honestly never.
He doesn't. He takes think outside the box. The whole new level. The box doesn't exist for him. The box does not exist.
box is a concept.
Yeah, the box is a concept.
Construct of his imagination.
But I actually love that though, because even with that, you guys are breaking barriers, because people automatically think that Christians think one way, right? And so here we have personalities that are not afraid of being personalities and being real because you're sure of yourself. I'm not saying that, you've arrived and you don't have any room to grow and stuff like that, but at the same time, it takes a lot of courage. So yeah, big up yourself on that.
There's something that I personally have been talking to the Lord about, because when you do come before camera to speak, whilst you might get commendations, you can also face criticism, and not all criticism is constructive. Some of them are really destructive criticism. So us coming and talking and being as raw and real as we are, we have to not only pray for grace, but we have to be ready and willing to extend grace, because sometimes whilst we might get destructive criticism, it's on us now to extend grace to that person, to almost be like, Lord, Father, forgive them, because they know not what they do. It really is trying on our hearts, and sometimes it can become discouraging, but it's for us to really take a step back and focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Focus on why is it that we're doing this, and understand that it's not all terrible. Because I think a quote I saw the other day is, a bad day doesn't equal a bad life. It's just one day. So it's just one day and just one comment, and just because that comment was given doesn't mean it speaks for the whole.
Yeah.
So that's something that we also have to keep in mind when we come and sit before the camera, that no commendation will come, criticism comes also.
So I'm happy that you mentioned that, because it's actually proven that the mind actually focuses first on the negative. Right. So saying that to say, especially being Christian podcasters and being willing to share those opinions and stuff like that thought replacement and all of that. Yeah, so
once you say you're Christian, that's all people need to hear.
That's all you need.
And they're already like, yeah, I don't hear anything after.
And they expect you to have a certain look. So when you tell people that.
You get a look. Yeah.
But it is what it is, and keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, so I'm gonna use that to segue in.